Okay, in this video we're going to look at the unit circle and evaluating the trig function. Now, you filled out a unit circle yesterday, and I told you to try to memorize it, but let's look at what happens if you don't memorize it, showing you that you can still find the items, okay? So, there are basically only three possibilities. We have the square root of 3, we have 1, we have the square root of 2, and all of them, if you look back at your unit circle, are over 2. Okay, so these are my choices. And the way that I keep them straight is square root of 3. In a 30, 60, 90, there are 3 different, so that's used with a 30, 60, 90. And then the 2 over here in a 45, 45, 90, 2 of a kind. So my answers are going to come with a combination of any one of these 3. So let's start. I'm going to start with an easy one by doing degrees. So we have 240 degrees. So you would do a rough sketch of a circle, and you have to figure out where 240 degrees is. Okay, so it's past 180 and not quite 270. So it's somewhere in this region here. Okay, so if I know this is 180 and I want to go to 240, I need to add 60 degrees. There we go. So this is a 60-degree angle. All right, which means I'm going to use a 30, 60, 90 triangle. This 60 is across from the longest side, so this is going to be the biggest piece. Now, these are the two pieces that go with a 30, 60, 90, and the biggest piece. Well, the square root of 3, if I wanted to estimate that, the two perfect squares, square root of 1, square root of 4, is 1 and 2. So the square root of 3 is somewhere between 1 and 2, but closer to 2 because 3 is closer to 4, which means that it's going to be greater than 1, which means this is bigger. Again, this is just things to help you figure out which one is bigger. The bigger angle is across from the longer side, so this would be the square root of 3 over 2, making this 1/2. Okay, so now I have my triangle. Now it wants to know the cosine. Remember, cosine alphabetically comes first, so x comes before y, so they want the x value. So the x value is right here, and it's 1/2. Now you have to be careful because I went to the left of the origin, therefore my answer is going to be negative 1/2. And so that's how to do it without memorizing the circle. Let's look at another one. Okay, now this one's in pi form. Don't be scared. We're going to do a quick trick to change it to degrees to make it easier for you. 2/3 pi. To go to degrees, cancel pi and times by 180. So I'm going to have 2 times 180 divided by 3 is 360 divided by 3 is 120. All things that you should be able to do without a calculator. Okay, so then I take my sketch of a circle. All right, so it's not quite 180. I need to go backwards from 180, 60 degrees. Now, if you notice in all the examples, I am moving from the x-axis. How much space is it between my ray and the x-axis? Never the y-axis. We're taking the x-axis. So I have a 60, 30, 60, 90. 60 is the important angle. It is across from the longest side, which is the square root of 3 over 2, and the short side would be 1/2. Okay, so in this case they want sine. Remember, sine is my y. So the y value in this case is the square root of 3 over 2. And I am done. Okay, let's look at a little bit more tricky one. 270 degrees. Okay, so 270 degrees is right here. So it's on an axis, okay? So I didn't travel x, so that's 0. I moved down 1. Okay, this is my x, this is my y. They're asking for cotangent. Well, cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. And remember, tangent is like slope. It's rise over run. So it's my y over my x. So my y over my x is negative 1 over 0. So if it was asking for the tangent, it would be undefined. But it's asking for cotangent, which is the reciprocal So the reciprocal of negative 1 over 0 would be 0 over negative 1 or 0. So the cotangent of 270 is 0. Okay, let's look at one more. Let's go with 3/4 pi. No, I don't. Yeah, 3/4 pi. Okay, 3/4 pi, and let's say I wanted secant. Okay, so 3/4 pi. So 3 times 180 divided by 4 is 540 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time, goes into 14 three times, 35, 135. Okay, double check the math. Okay, 4 goes into 5 one time, goes into 14 three times, goes into 25 times, 135 degrees. Okay, I'm going to make a rough sketch of a circle. Here we go. 135 degrees is not quite 180. I have to go backwards 45 degrees, and that puts me at 135. Okay, build my triangle. Okay, we love this one because two of the sides are the same. Boom, boom. And the 2 of a kind means I'm going to use 2. So the square root of 2 over 2, the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so secant. Secant goes with cosine. Cosine is x. So in this case, my x value is negative the square root of 2 over 2. That would be the cosine. Secant is the reciprocal. So it's going to be, let me erase and give us some room. It is going to be 2 over the negative square root of 2. All right, so 2 over the negative square root of 2. Now, I'm not done because no radicals in the basement, so I need to multiply by the square root of 2 over 2, which gives me 2 the square root of 2 over 2, and there's the negative still on the bottom here. Okay, these cancel, keeping the negative. My answer is the negative square root of 2 for secant. I hope you found this helpful. You really just want to know your 30, 60, 90, your 45, 45, 90, and the quick trick that to go from radians to degrees, drop the pi, multiply by 180.